Welcome to the Excel Executive. So we will continue from the last video. We covered cards, bar charts, stacked column charts, and stacked bar charts. So we will cover these three charts in this video. So the first one is a line chart. So whenever you have dates in your data, you use a line chart. As you can see in this table, we have the purchase date. So let's say on this date, this item was purchased for $52 and so on and so forth. So in order to create a line chart, we will use these dates. To do that, we will go to the Insert tab. This is the option. And you can choose the first option or the fourth option. The other options are for stacked line charts, which I have never used ever. So I'm not going to use them here as well. If you are interested, you can look at them at your own time. So I'm going to choose this option, and then we will select the data. So first we need the total amount. So I will click the heading. Then I will select the data. So we have the total amounts. Click OK. And then we will select the category, which are dates in this case. So basically we are done with chart. Now what happens is that normally I make some changes. So for line charts, these are the changes that I normally make. First I would do is that I would turn on the data labels so that I can see them. The second is that I will remove these lines, remove this bit, maybe update the title. So let's say shopping amount by dates or something to that effect. Next, what I would do is that I will modify the line. So first, I'm just gonna change the color. Let's make it really dark. And then what I would normally do is that I will make it slimmer, like this. And there is this option. It's called smooth line, smoothed line. So what happens is that these lines are really sharp. So when I turn on this option, it gives a very nice effect to it. I normally use it. The second part is that markers are these little dots. So I'm going to modify them as well. So for that, I'm supposed to go into the marker options, click this bit, and then, yeah, the shape is fine. Maybe increase its size and maybe change the color as well. So it gives a very nice effect to it. One more thing that I do is that, as you can see, that the dates are here. So I removed the horizontal grid line, but what I would do in these charts is that I will turn on the vertical one, which is this option, and then maybe modify it a bit. So maybe click it here and go to the option where I can change the dash type. Let's make it like this and make it a bit lighter. Something like this. So here you can see that let me just zoom in a bit. So here you can see that for 14 September, the shopping amount was $7.50. For 16 September, it was $19, and so on and so forth. One more thing is that the way these are aligned, I don't like it. So what I would do is that I will go to the text options, click this icon, and change the direction from this one to this one. And in my opinion, this looks much better. One more thing that I would do is that this depends on your data. So if you look at our data, it starts from August 2024 and ends in September 2024. So we are basically in the same year. So what I would do is that, again, I will go into the options for this axis and change the format. So I don't need the years. So what I would do is that I will just remove the years, and instead of a hyphen, I will use a space and click add and this, in my opinion, looks much cleaner. And this is how I will create a line chart. So let's paste that chart here. Let's see. I'm just gonna paste it here. Like so. This looks more than okay, I believe. So the next one is a donut chart. So when it comes to creating a donut chart, what I would suggest or advise is that if you have a single category, two categories, at the most three categories, then use a donut chart. If you have more than three categories, it is a bad idea to use a donut chart. Let me show you what I mean. So let's create one with lots of categories. So this is the option. This is option for a pie chart. This is a donut chart, basically the same thing. It just looks different. I don't like how a pie chart looks, so I'm going to use the donut chart, which I normally use. Again, select the data. Let's say total amount and item name wise. So we will add the total amount first. Click OK, and then I will select the item names. And I will turn on the data labels. And these are not legible, so maybe this should work. Here we go. But as you can see, this is a mess because we have 6, 7, 8 categories in it. And for this, it is a very bad idea to create a donut chart with multiple categories. So instead of using this table, I will use these values, which are basically two categories, the type of shops. And for this, donut chart is a very good option. So I'm just going to modify this chart. My bad. I'm supposed to select the data. So instead of these amounts, I will just edit it. I will just, select the numbers from here. Leave the heading as it is. Click OK. And for this, I will select these two and click OK. And this looks much cleaner. So let me change the name. So let's say it's total amount by shops. We have two shops, and so in the vegetable shop we shopped for $101, and in the grocery shop we shopped for 48 bucks. One thing that I would do is that I will move the legend from the bottom to the right side. This looks much more, I don't know, it looks much better in my opinion. The second thing is that the purpose of a donut chart is to show the percentage. So if you select the values, let me just move the chart here. So if you go in these options, you have the value which is on. So you see the value. If I turn this on as well, it will show you the percentage. I don't like this presentation. So what I would do is that I will just remove the value and just show the percentage. And in this way, it gives a very nice effect. So basically, the total shopping amount is divided into these two shops. So vegetable shop is responsible for 68% of the amount of the shopping, and this is responsible for 32%. And that is the donut chart. So let's put this chart here, let's say. Maybe move it here and move this one here. And here you can see that the total amount is $149.20. The vegetable shop amount is 101, which is 68% of the total shopping. And this amount is $48, which is 32% of the shopping. I can zoom it a bit, or maybe make it bigger so that it's much more legible. Anyways, so we are done with donut charts as well. The third is a combo chart. So what happens is that the scenario would be something like this. You have a one category, but you want to show two values. Let's say in our case, the category is the item name. So you want to show its total amount and quantity in a single table. So in these cases, we use a combo chart. So let's make one. I'm going to go to the Insert tab. This is the option, but when I select it, it's not going to work. So it's saying that you're supposed to select the data first. So for our purposes, I'm just going to click anywhere in the table and then go here again and select, and it's going to create this really ugly table. And from this, we can start doing our stuff. So I'm going to go select data and remove everything. And then we will take it from the top. So first is I'm supposed to add the total amount. Let's add the amount like so. Click OK. And here I'm just going to add the items. Click OK. This is the first part. The second is we are supposed to add the quantity as well. So I'm going to do the same for quantity. Click here and select the values. And again, choose the item names. But this does not look like a combo chart. So what we are supposed to do now is that we are supposed to change the chart type. So right now it's a line chart. So we go to this last option, the combo chart. So it gives us two options. So for those two values, we have to decide that which one is supposed to be the columns and which one is supposed to be the line. So in our case, I think this makes really good sense that the total amount are these blue columns and the quantity is this line. Now what I would normally do is that right now this chart is using this axis as a value. And as you know from number formatting, that $10 and 10 is exactly the same thing in Excel. So if I choose this option, it will create two axes, one for the total amount and one for the quantity on the right side of the chart. So let me turn it on. And here you can see that the quantity is shown on this side and the amount is shown on this side. And this changes this orange line as well. Let me show you that again. And this is normally a much better representation when you are showing the data like this. So let me click OK. And here we are done with the basic combo chart. Now again, I make some changes, so I'm going to do those as well. I will do those now. So first is when I turn on the data labels, this will become really messy. This is the first problem in these charts. So let's make a few changes. First, I will change the line. I will make it smaller, something like this. I will turn on the smoothness of it. And yeah, this is simple. And then I will go to the marker options. I will turn this on. Maybe, yeah, turn it into a circle. 5 or 6, yeah, it seems okay. And this is the first part. This looks much better. Second is that I will move these from the right side. So it's these options. So I will move it from the right side to the top above. This is the second bit. And because this is a combo chart, so you should be much more careful with visual representation. So what I will do is that I will also change the color of these numbers to orange as well, so that it looks the part. The third thing is this, I'm going to make this really light. So let's go to the fill option and make it light blue, so that these numbers are legible. And again, to make these look the part, turn their color into blue as well. So here you can see that the total amount, the columns are blue. These are their values, and this is the quantity and the values. One thing that it automatically did for me is that for this, the label position should be outside and this is the one that I prefer. So this means that it is on top of every bar. Inside base is going to look like this, inside end is going to look like this, and center is going to look, yeah, like this. So this is the best option. It shows it by default, which is nice, but in case it doesn't. And the last bit is that normally I would delete this, but in this case I will not. What I will do is that I will just make them less prominent. So something like this should work. And this is our combo chart. So let's put it here as well. Let's make some room. Maybe make this a bit smaller, something like this. Maybe a bit more. Make this bigger. And here, let me do one more thing. Just to review what we have done. So these are the cards. This is the bar chart. We didn't use a stack column. We did a stacked bar because this made much more sense in terms of legibility. Basically, it is the same thing. Then the line chart with dates, then the donut chart with percentages, and then a combo chart which shows item names and the amount and the quantity in a single chart. So these $149.20 are broken into all these categories. Now, once you create a skill of creating these graphs and charts from the start, which we did in these two videos, and then you become really good at creating pivot tables, then you will be ready to create very nice interactive dashboards in Excel. So we are done with this part. And then once we are done with pivot tables, then we will be able to move to interactive dashboards. But for now, I think this is more than enough. Please do all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.